Today we kick off our season 5, event 1. Isn't that exciting? 4 years, a long journey. We started in 2020 amidst the pandemic, and today here we are. After 4 years, we are kicking off the 5th season. And as you all know me, I am Priya Patra, and I am the anchor of this chapter exchange initiative. And I'm also the host of this session today. We have Anita from PMI Poland chapter. Anita, you want to say hi to everyone?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone.
And we have Damike, our chapter exchange leader from PMI Sri Lanka chapter.
Hi, everyone.
And we have our Asia Pacific champion, Tao, from PMI Taipei, Taiwan chapter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, Taiwan.
And we also have Priscilla, our Latin American champion from PMI Sao Paulo, Brazil chapter.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
And I was also expecting Jonathan from PMI Jalisco, Mexico chapter. I don't see him here. If you're there, please say hi to everyone. Okay, so I think he's still yet to join. So welcome everyone to PMI Chapter Exchange Season 5 and Event 1. Today we discuss tomorrow's project managers today. And we have PMI friends joining in from 28 different PMI chapters from across the globe. And like every month, we give spotlight to 2 chapters. And this time it is PMI Taipei, Taiwan chapter and PMI Jalisco, Mexico chapter. So I did introduce our chapter exchange liaisons who are on the panel today, but there would be few more folks who will be introducing in the course of the event. And with this, over to you, Priscilla, to walk us through the chapter exchange effect map.
Thank you, Priya. Wow, it's always exciting to present our exchange effect map. This is how our registrations look like today, and it represents the power of our global project management community. We have actually maxed out our registrations that came from across 57 countries. And now we invite you to keep saying hello to each other and networking as we begin this exciting event. Today, we are pleased to announce that we have over 1,000 registrations, from Alaska to New Zealand and all countries and continents in between. So thank you, everyone, for this warm response to this initiative. And please, we would like to ask you to let us know where you're coming from using the Menti link shared in the chat. It's important to remind you that this meeting is being recorded. So if you feel uncomfortable in any way, you can choose not to attend. If not, you are welcome to continue. We also highlight that everyone here at this event is speaking on our individual capacity. Therefore, our opinions do not in any way represent the opinions of our organizations. Please. And like the last time, we will also spotlight you. And how? Here are the rules. Participate actively in the event using the chat window. Share an interesting quote or comment on the topic or on this chapter exchange event. And then, in the end of the event, we will spotlight you. Plus, you and your quote or comment will be published in our attendee spotlight section in our Insight Exchange Nugget. So gear up and share your quote with us. And wow, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our guest speaker, Pierre Lemaine, President and CEO of the Project Management Institute. Pierre has a long track record as a successful global executive. Before taking his current role at PMI, Pierre led Galileo Global Education's expansion project in North America. He was Chief Executive Officer North America and Global Deputy CEO at Ipsos, one of the world's largest data analytics and insights companies. He was CEO of Consolidated, a leader in first and third-party consumer data, precision, and digital marketing, and he held other leadership roles with global organizations. Today, Pierre is here with us to talk briefly about the future project management and some of the things we can do to position ourselves to succeed in the coming years. Pierre, thank you for being here with us today, and the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you so much, and hello everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you today and to introduce this wonderful event. So we are going to hear from some very insightful and experienced project professionals. I think you're going to find it very beneficial to your career and hopefully also personally. And I am personally looking forward to it. So when I met with Priya and the team to prepare this event, they actually asked me if I could say a few words, opening words, about job security for project managers. And initially, I was a little surprised that this would be the theme, but obviously we've been through quite a ride over the past few years. We had this global pandemic, I'm sure you remember. We had supply chain disruptions, we had spikes in unemployment, in inflation, a steep interest rate increase, at least for the main currencies, and we had a big down cycle in tech as well. So it is understandable that job security be on many people's mind. Now the questions are, can we avoid uncertainty, and what can we do to future-proof ourselves so we rebound quickly from potential disruptions, at least from a professional standpoint? So I've got all sorts of news for you, some encouraging news, some bad news, some good news. The encouraging news is that if you look at the current world economy, things are definitely better than we feared they would be, even as recently as 1 year ago. Inflation seems to be tamed in the large economies. Of course, not everywhere, and it's still fragile. We even saw a disappointing number, in fact, in the US in January. But it does look like we're living the soft landing that we had been hoping for, which means that central banks should start easing their monetary policies and lower interest rates sometime this year. So that in turn should lead to more investment, which is great for project management and job growth. Of course, and as always, the situation is not the same everywhere in the world, but we are seeing the other PMI, the Purchasing Manager Index, which is a very important precursor of short-term economic growth. We are seeing this index improve in the last month. So I believe that we are operating in a reasonably stable environment, as in fact we have, if you think about it, over the last year or so, except of course in the tech sector, but even there, things are going a little better now. Now, the bad news is that there is no such thing, I'm sorry, as a magic wand that avoids recessions, disruption, and accidents. But no one can control nor impact the macroeconomic factors that drive sudden shifts in the workforce. And believe me, I wish I could, but I can't, right? So we don't know exactly what the future holds, and we have to accept it. We saw this with the pandemic or the war in Ukraine, and there are huge economic consequences. And we're also in election year in many countries, including obviously here where I am in the US, which could potentially change the geopolitical environment. But honestly, we have to live with it. These things are simply out of our control. So let's move to the good news. Over a long period of time, and ignoring the short-term slowdowns or stochastic events that can affect the economy, I actually believe project professionals are in a great place. And why? Because every company, every government, every organization needs transformation. And the more the world is VUCA, the more they will need transformation to adapt, to survive, to gain competitive advantage. Most of you are project professionals, and well, projects drive the economy. Despite all the turmoil that we've experienced, the demand for qualified project professionals keeps rising. You may remember this number from PMI's talent gap report that estimates that 2.3 million new project managers are needed globally each year during this decade, to both replace the ones who are retiring and the ones who are needed to meet the needs of the growing global economy. So no matter what, over the long run, you are in great demand, which is a fantastic place to be in, to be honest. Now, this doesn't mean that things are easy for everyone, of course, but it is the responsibility of each of us to position ourselves to be successful. If you remember only one thing from my remarks today, I want it to be that you can hedge against whatever happens tomorrow by taking steps today to position yourself effectively. And there is not a one-size-fits-all solution for everyone, but I'm going to give you 2 suggestions to consider. And of course, we'll talk about how PMI can help. So number 1, and this is really critical, you need to commit yourself to continuously learning, developing, and growing, but all along your career, whether you're just beginning your project management career or you've been in the field for decades, you need to stay fresh and to stay on top of new methodologies, new ways of working, new technologies that are changing the way projects are led. But also develop all the skills that are required to lead increasingly diverse and distributed teams, and also to engage effectively with the C-suite by speaking their language and understanding the direction they want their organizations to take. And that from multiple standpoints: strategy, business models, culture, purpose, competitive environment, etc., etc. And more generally speaking, you have to keep developing what we call the power skills at PMI. Communication, problem solving, collaborative leadership, strategic thinking, system thinking. Our 2024 Pulse of the Profession survey, which is yet to be released, so I'm sharing with you some really fresh news now. It shows that power skills are even more critical when you work in a hybrid or remote environment. 2 numbers here: 61% of senior leaders said that their teams need better power skills for the evolving work environment, and 54% said that business acumen is critical for success. So that reinforces the need to keep learning every day. So how do you keep learning? Well, keep building your network. You're here today, so it shows that you are doing that, which is great. But we can and we should always do more. Find a mentor, build your knowledge across multiple industries and multiple geographies. Be curious, have a growth mindset. Of course, you should also continue to take advantage of everything PMI has to offer. At PMI, we offer thought leadership, gold standard professional certifications, learning, networking opportunities that supports you at every stage of your career. So please never stop learning. Now, the second thing that you must do to position yourself for the future of work is, of course, to get ready for a workplace in which AI is ubiquitous. In my opinion, this is really essential. It's both a threat for sure, but also a massive opportunity for you. So first of all, please don't be scared of artificial intelligence. The reason we took on the PMI by AI initiative was this increasing anxiety about AI among project professionals. You may recall this headline of this infamous Gartner report that scared everyone, saying something like 80% of a project manager's task will be eliminated by AI, and this by 2030. So we felt a huge responsibility to support project professionals through this change and to give you the tools to use AI to be more effective and play critical roles in the AI transformations of the organizations you work for. So that's how we felt that PMI's duty was to lead the AI transformation of project management. So we help you be at the forefront of it. We've already developed, many of you know it, many AI tools, so take advantage of all of them, including our courses, our templates, our virtual community on projectmanagement.com, and of course, our PMI Infinity platform, the AI teammate that we have developed for project managers. It's a free resource for all members. And if you're not using it yet, you should definitely take a close look at it. Now, if you become AI proficient, and if you are a career-long learner, you will be a very valuable resource. You will be extremely well positioned in a growing profession. So own it. And remember that PMI and our amazing community is here for you to help you and support you. So you'll never walk alone. Okay, that's my time. In closing, I want to make a quick comment about PMI's new strategy that we called PMI Next, and which we began to unveil in January. So all the things I discussed today, our expansion to career-long learning, our development of community-generated knowledge platforms like PMI Infinity, our gold standard professional certifications and thought leadership, all are central elements of our strategy. We're going to focus on these areas because we feel they are the best way to achieve our purpose. And our purpose is to maximize project success, to elevate our world. What we mean by that is that if we can help you and help tens of millions of project professionals be better at making your project successful, then one successful and responsible project at a time, together collectively, we can make the world a better place. So please stay engaged with us, leverage the tools and resources we offer, help us continuously improve, with your insight and feedback, and keep on doing what you're doing best. Get things done successfully and elevate our world. So thank you so much for listening. And I think I'm handing over back to you, Priya, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Pierre. And those were wonderful knowledge nuggets that you shared with us. That the one thing that struck me was you can hedge over whatever happens tomorrow by taking steps today. And that is exactly the topic that we are going to talk about today. Tomorrow's project managers today. So how do we build the skills of tomorrow? And exciting to know about PMI's purpose as well, maximizing project success to elevate our world of work. And thank you very much for those words of wisdom. And now we will move on to the next part of our event, which is talking a little more about our initiative before we start the panel discussion. And let me share my screen again. And this is what our initiative is all about. It is all about collaboration. And the map that you see here on the screen shows all those 28 chapters who are part of this chapter collaboration initiative. So we actually are a virtual community of chapter leaders. And this community that transcends across countries, continents, and cultures, we like to put it that way. And our vision is to evangelize cross-chapter collaboration, to encourage cultural diversity. And what do we do? We co-create these monthly events to bring in diverse perspectives to our chapter members, spurring networking opportunities and collaboration opportunities. And trust me, any part of the world that I go, I'm never alone because at least I know at least one person from a PMI chapter there now. We're all because of this initiative, and it's gone even beyond this 28 chapters, and that's why you see so many chapters from all across the globe joining this event as well. We truly believe diverse connections can lead to innovative solutions. And we didn't keep all these learnings to ourselves, of course. We did author a book, and it is right here. And Priscilla will put in the link to this book if you want to have a look at it. It is free to be downloaded on for Kindle in Amazon. And we like to call this as the exchange effect, where diverse connections build in innovative solutions with a compounding effect, one diverse connection at a time. That is how we like to name it. And you will see the co-authors are again all diverse from all across the globe. Some of them are already on the call today. Some are probably listening, not on the call, but yes, we did document all our learnings in this book. And with this, I will hand over to Damike to introduce our spotlight chapter of the month.
Thanks, Priya. So let me introduce Eric. He is the CEO of GeoX Group and the president of PMI Taiwan chapter. So before I hand over the stage to you, Eric, I have two questions for you. First one, what is the time there now at your site and the date? And the second one is, what does the logo of your chapter signify? Over to you.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric. It's really nice to be here to represent Taiwan to giving this presentation. And this is 16th of February, and it's 10 o'clock in the evening now. And for your question, PMI Taiwan and the logo, I think it's the shape of the island, and with the two characters in Chinese, Taiwan. Okay, so it represents PMI Taiwan. And for Taiwan, I think most of the people have known Taiwan a little bit already. We have lots of parts are distinguished from the other area of the world. Taipei 101, I think most of the people you have seen this building. It's once was the tallest building of the world, and there are lots of good tourist spots in Taiwan. At the same time, also Taiwan is quite famous for its innovative industry. We have lots of high technologies. I think most of people know TSMC. It's the top 10 biggest company of the world. Today, most of the smart appliance use its chips. And also we have lots of our bike industry, our PC industry are famous around the world. And for the chapter, actually we established our chapter in 1999. So this is our 25th anniversary this year. And we have 3 branches office, Taipei, Taichung, and Kaohsiung. And also we have 7 committees in charging of training and international linkage and impact affair, education, volunteer affair, digital affair, and awards affair. And as a chapter, we have almost 500 members today. And for recent year, I think we have some successes. In 2022, we were selected in the finalist of PMI Chapter Awards. In 2023, one of our volunteers win the PMI Future 50 Awards. And as I mentioned, in Taiwan, we have so many innovative industry. And so we have lots of good projects and best practice. So we are hosting Project Management Excellence Award every year to choose the best practice, best projects, best leaders, and the organization that do the best practice. And we also inviting them to giving speech in our international congress. So yes, we are hosting international congress every year. From last year, we have more than 800 people join us in the international congress. And this year is our 25th anniversary, and so we are going to expand it, and we are going to host it in 26th and 27th in October. So I would like to take this chance to invite you to join us once you have chance to come to Taiwan to enjoy the beauty of Taiwan and also enjoy the innovative project carried out, practice in Taiwan. At least, I think, thank you for having me here to introduce Taiwan chapter, and I wish to see you in October. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So let me introduce Alicia, the president of PMI Jalisco, Mexico chapter. She's an experienced financial professional with demonstrated history in the development of the wealth segment of the Mexican asset management industry. Expertise in passive, active, and alternative products, equity back office operations, and indexing. She's the co-founder of Mujeres and Finanzas, the first Mexican network that fosters development and empowerment of women in the financial industry. Featured in Heroes 2021 Top Women Executives by Involve and Yahoo Finance. Published as one of the 30 Mexican upcoming business leaders in 2019 by Expansion, a magazine targeted to business market in Mexico. What an impressive bio. So before I hand over the stage to you, Alicia, I have two questions for you. What is the time there now at your side and the date, and what does the logo of your chapter signify? Over to you.
Thank you, Damike. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm sorry to say this, but I think the video was not the correct one. I wish I could have all those accomplishments, but that wasn't correct. So today is February 16, and it is 8:28 a.m. I'm very happy to have this chance to present my state and my chapter. So I am from Mexico, and here you can see a little picture of the country, and in orange, in the left top, in orange color, you can see my state. So Jalisco is located in the western of Mexico in the Pacific coast. We have a huge population, more than 8 million inhabitants in Jalisco state. So we are the third state with the highest population in the country. And the city is very old. So below you can see a picture of the capital, Guadalajara city. So this is one of the iconic buildings in downtown, the cathedral. The city was founded almost 500 years ago. So as you can imagine, it is a mix of history, culture, traditions, but also innovation. So in the next picture below, you can see kind of the new face of the capital. So as a state, we are the fourth economy in the country. And last year, we were designated the state of Jalisco as the state with the greatest innovation in Mexico. So this is really a very nice contrast, legacy and innovation. And also, as you may know, probably you have heard about the tequila, about the mariachi, about the charreria. So those are the most representative icons in Mexico, and all them are part of my state of Jalisco. They are kind of my, they were born here in this state. So my logo, as you can see, my logo has kind of a blue plant. So this is a blue agave plant. So this is the main ingredient to prepare the tequila, one of the most recognized spirits in the world, and also more like it. And now let me continue with my chapter. So you can see here some nice pictures of different events. So we are having in a yearly basis the PM Day. So this is a celebration for the professionals and also for the professional project management. We also have an annual Congress, and we are chapter that was founded in 2005. So within few months, we are going to make 19 years old. So today we are 18, and we are almost reaching the 500 members. We are super excited, and we are looking forward to reach out the 500 very soon. And we are operating with 30 plus volunteers. Some of the special offer that we have for our members is the Women's Network. Actually, with this initiative, we won last year one of the Latin America's Excellence Awards. So we are trying with this initiative to work on the gap of women working in project management areas. And also we have a chat with experts, which is a space where we are allowing our members to get in contact with experts in different topics and in a very intimate friendship dialogue to learn more and move forward in the career. And before I finish, I just want to thank Jonathan Olivas. He's the volunteer coordinating this effort in the chapter. And also Miguel Castañeda, he is one of the speaker panelists to date, and he is one of our most appreciated volunteers in the chapter. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you, Alicia. Over to you, Tao, now.
So hi everyone. So let me introduce you our session moderator, Kiran Bondel. A bit about Kiran. Very short bio. Kiran Bondel is a senior consultant for the World Class Productivity Inc. Delivery Project Manager Training Consulting Services. Kiran is a daily contributor to key project management discussion group and published his first book, Easy in Theory, Difficult in Practice, 100 Lessons in Project Leadership in January 2021. With this, I hand over the stage to you, Kiran, to take it all away.
Perfect. Thank you, Tao, for that introduction. And now I'd actually like to call on our individual panelists to introduce themselves. If you're not on camera already, please do get on camera. So each of our panelists, I'll call you out in turn. If you could take no more than a minute to introduce yourselves, and then we will jump right into the panel discussion. So in no particular order, we're going to start off with William Chan. Would you like to introduce yourself? William, looks like you're muted, I think, at the moment.
Thank you for reminding me. Does you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, let me start over again. I'm William Chen from Taiwan. And some of you may know this is within the first year of Chinese Lunar New Year, and it's the Year of Dragon. So let me first of all say Happy New Year to all of you. And my background is in the information technology, and I used to work for AT&T and IBM in the United States. And at that time, I was mainly involved in the large-scale service platform. And 20 years ago, I returned to Taiwan and founded my own company as a service company and a consulting company. So we provided the cloud service for a lot of business operations, including project management. And I joined PMI since 2008. And I was the president of PMI Taiwan chapters between 2015 and 2021. And I was very lucky because there are so many great volunteers in Taiwan. So we work together and we engage with Taiwan government and to set a lot of national standards for project management. And very lucky to see everyone today too. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, William, for that introduction. Next, I'd like to pass the microphone over to Luis, if you could introduce yourself in about a minute. Luis, are you with us? Do you have your microphone unmuted?
Yeah, sorry. Well, hi all. My name is Luis. It's representing by region of Europe, in especially Spain. I from well, I born in Latin America, Peru, but I live 20 years ago in Spain. It's actually it's I a vice president of Madrid chapter, and well, professionally is as a role in the insurance company as project manager, and well, it's joined together with almost there. I speak about the role of the project manager, not only today, in tomorrow, in the future, no.
Perfect. Thank you, Luis. I'd like to pass the microphone over to Jamna now to introduce herself in about a minute.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all those who have joined from different parts of the world. I'm the Director of Governance from PMI UA chapter, and I have been a volunteer with PMI since 2018, and I've been a board member for the last 2 years. At the moment, I work as the Director of Governance for the chapter. I am a passionate project management professional, certified in PMP, PGMP, and few other agile certifications. And I currently work as head of PMO in British Council. I work 100% remotely, manage a global team that's a diverse team that's dispersed across the globe. My team is actually placed across Americas, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, as well as East Asia. So I guess this topic is very quite relevant to me. My team, as I mentioned, my team is spread across different parts of the world. By education, I'm a software engineer, but had been working in core project management from 2008. And I was fortunate to work in different industries, in shipping, waste management, event management, and currently in education in British Council. I'm really grateful to the Chapter Xchange for inviting our chapter to this event, and looking forward to an interesting panel discussion and learning from you all. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jamna. Next, we'll move to Miguel. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you this morning. So my name is Miguel. I work for a technology company that is pretty much based in cloud and artificial intelligence. So a very fresh topic for today. I have been working in that company for many years, almost 32 years. So it was my first job and my only job so far. So pretty much I do transformation for different business areas. So we have a combination, and I have a team that is pretty much working with the business, providing internal solutions. I have been a volunteer for the PMI locally and globally since 2008. So almost 15, 16 years this year. Pretty much working with creating communities, getting in touch with the industry, with the companies, trying to promote the project, program, portfolio management. I am doing that internally in my company. So I think pretty much the connection with the people and the creation of communities, and in some cases being a reviewer of the projects and the people's profile is part of my passion, my job. And finally, well, I like to combine, as I mentioned, the knowledge about the industry, the knowledge about the companies, the business process with technology. So I am trying to keep always a fresh knowledge about what is coming to our profession, and trying to share that and communicate that with the different stakeholders in the industry and in the chapter.
Perfect. Thank you, Miguel. And last but not least, Kandwani.
Good day, everyone. My name is Gondwani Panda. I'm a chemical engineer turned metallurgist. With my career, I started off in a research and development environment, which was very project-based. And then in 2020, I then decided to change my career path into project management. And if I may say so myself, it's been the best decision ever, because I believe that project management allows you to have a broader view in terms of what happens within organizations, all the way from concept development until we actually bring up the solution and the product to our clients, or the industry itself. So I'm grateful to be here, and looking forward to the discussions that we'll be having today.
Excellent. Thank you, Kondwani. Let's get our panel discussion going then. I'm going to be directing questions to the panelists. I'm going to pick a different panelist to kick off the discussion for each question. Once they've had a chance to spend a minute or two sharing their thoughts, I will then open it up to the rest of the panelists to weigh in. And once we spent maybe 5 to 10 minutes discussing a question, we will move to the next one. So for the very first question, Jamna, I'm going to direct this one to you or have you kick it off. As organizations navigate uncharted territory, how can project managers lead with confidence in the face of uncertainty? And what skills do you believe are critical for success in such environments?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Kiran. So yeah, as organizations are going through this evolving landscape and uncharted territory, it's very important that the project managers adopt and develop themselves certain skills to navigate through it. When COVID happened in my own organization, it was the situation for many projects. There were projects that were only considered for face-to-face situations. There were projects that started off digitization but were going quite slow. And there were projects that did not consider complete remote management. Now, COVID happened, everything had to change. We had to go for remote management. We had to expedite the digitization and increase the speed of those projects. Now, the way we navigated through it obviously was with adaptability and flexibility. It was important the project managers were adaptable and fostered the same within the team to come up with creative solutions to navigate through those challenges. So that is one great skill the project manager should have to lead with confidence. The other thing is transparent and open communication. Again, that was extremely useful. It was important that everyone was aware of the challenges the project was going through. The risks were known to everyone. It also helped the stakeholders to actually intervene at the right situation to resolve those challenges and help collective decision making. And obviously the continuous development mindset. Things had to change. People had to develop new skills. Cultural awareness was important. Suddenly it was complete remote teams. We worked as a team for almost 2 years during COVID without meeting with each other, without meeting the vendors. And still we managed to have those project success only because the team was adaptable. The team gave that focus on cultural awareness, gave that focus on emotional intelligence. So those human-centric skills is also very important for a project manager to lead with confidence. To specifically pick it would be emotional intelligence, critical thinking, or complex problem solving. I would say, these are the key skills I can say, for the project managers to lead with confidence.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamna. Before I open it up to the panelists, I just want to let everyone know Pierre, who gave us our keynote speech today, will also be participating as part of the panel and is welcome to weigh in on any of the questions. I will be specifically calling on Pierre with one question a little bit later in the panel discussion. So opening it up now to the panel, Jamna shared her views on this question. Would anybody else like to share their thoughts?
The only thing, Karen, if you allow me, that I may add to this excellent list of skills and competencies is really this big picture thinking you need to have. As we're increasingly, and it's going to be even worse with AI in a way, we have to move from the inside to the outside, right? Think of other professions that got really impacted by technology. Think of the people who used to trade stocks on the floor in Wall Street or other big stock exchanges, right? They're all gone because it's all replaced with machines now. So the profession has evolved to the outside, managing the system, managing the software, managing the quantitative analysis, all of that. Still a very successful profession, lots of people making a lot of money for sure, but they had to evolve, right? So think about how project managers have to go progressively from the inside, the stuff that will be automated, to the outside. And the way to do this is to have this big picture thinking, understanding the world, understanding things that go beyond project management. The whole context will matter a lot. So, read the press, get interested in stuff outside of your own area, learn about other industries, and that's going to help you fuel the system thinking that we were just talking about.
Excellent. I love that response because project managers, we learn how to connect the dots within the scope of our project. Now we have to learn how to connect the dots outside our project, taking that broader view, whether it's within the end-to-end of our organization, our industry, or globally as required. Wonderful, Pierre. Anyone else like to weigh in on this from our panel?
I'd actually like to add just a small comment on that. I really believe that one of the key things that will also help us as project managers lead with confidence is our ability to learn and quickly adapt. If we look at Jaba's comment on COVID, right? As much as there was pandemic and a lot that was happening, there were tools available for us to be able to connect globally, to be able to ensure that projects are still being delivered. And everyone that was able to learn quickly the tools and to be able to adapt to the changes were then successful. So I think our ability to really adapt and learn as fast as we can will allow us to be confident.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kondwani. Miguel, Luis, or William, would any of you like to weigh on in this?
Yes, hi.
Yes.
I want to echo on Jamla's. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me go on first. Sure. I think Jamla mentioned about the human-centric skills, and I want to echo on this. Okay, because I think maybe it sounds like old-fashioned, but I think the power skills, people skills are very essential and still crucial, because no one can understand and no one can be acquainted with all the new technologies. But we should know who knows them, and we should know how to work with them very closely. So I think these are very essential, even though it's the very basic, very fundamental skills that we should have, but it will still be true for the future. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, William. Luis, I think you were going to add something.
Yeah, well, I think in the future of work, the project management role of project manager follow a measure by focusing on the both traditional metrics, no, and two newer indicators that align with the evolving landscape, no. The traditional metrics like project completion, as budgeting, timeline remain relevant, but should be complemented with the new metrics, the intangible metrics, no, such as employee satisfaction, team collaboration, effectiveness, adaptability to changing circumstances, and the, maybe the ability to leverage emerging technologies, no, data-driven insights from tools like project management software, employee feedback platforms, and performance analytics. It's the joined together not only the traditional metrics as project management now, but this power skills or the people skills is metrics too, no, and is the most important in the next years. Is this metric is most important that the traditional metrics is the normal, you know.
Perfect. Miguel, would you like to add anything?
Yes. So sorry that you cannot see my camera. I will try to fix that. But well, we have a lot of I will say a lot of good practices that we need to keep or that need to prevail. Right now we are all excited about artificial intelligence, and we are just the starting point. I mean, for the artificial intelligence to work right now, we need to input a lot of data. So it's giving us good answers, but the reality is we are just starting, is the top of the iceberg. The reality is we need artificial intelligence to magnify, to augment our capacities, to take a lot of information, to control information. And also we need the artificial intelligence to take decisions and to execute things. I mean, right now we just receive a screen, but the use cases to execute and to control and to manage better things like projects in this case is just starting. So pretty much my view is we need to continue with our practices, with the power skills. We need to continue with a lot of very relevant skills and abilities that we have for project management. And we need to start incorporating technology as in the past in the future of project management. So that is my view.
Perfect. Thank you, Miguel. And I'd encourage the participants in our discussion today, not the panelists, but the participants, if you have any questions that you would like to pose to the panel that maybe were spurred by the discussion we just had, feel free to enter it in the chat panel. Okay, let's start maybe our next question then. I'm going to actually direct this one to, let's take this one to William. What emerging tools and technologies do you foresee being indispensable for the next generation of project managers? And how should they prepare to integrate these into their skill set?
Okay. I believe the computer skills is even though I wouldn't change it every day. Just like we are doing the online meeting right now, and if 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it's hard to imagine we can get hundreds of people online at the same time from different parts of the world. So the computer technology, the skills, or these kind of communication tools are changing every day, and we just need to get used to it. And we don't need to worry about learning new things because we just get along with it. Okay. So whatever we do, even we talk about artificial intelligence, we talk about communication tools, they are all already part of our life today.
Perfect. Thank you, William. So strong focus on being computer literate, communication tools. Who else would like to weigh in on this one? Luis, would you like to add anything to William? Tools, technologies, what's going to be indispensable for the project manager of tomorrow?
Well, maybe for complementary the opinions of William and my another colleagues here. Well, it's noted that the tech skills is most important in some industries, but in another some industries is not most important. Well, technology is very important. Artificial intelligence, overall, the generative artificial intelligence is the most hype in the whole. No, I don't know. Is maybe the technology is growth is necessary, but the another skills, as you mentioned it, or another mentioned, emotional intelligence, problem-solving abilities, no, communication skill is important too. Is the side, the technical side, and the abilities, social abilities, or direction abilities, management skills is important, and all sides is joined in the new role of the new person for our future. No, it's a in I read last week one article that determined nomad. The nomad is the person of the person the people of the you knows someone knowledge, but you decide use or not use. Is the future of the persons. No, you have lot of information, and you as you as this information you assist and to make decisions as project management role. No?
Perfect, Luis. Kandwani.
I personally think virtual assistants. One of the things that I find fascinating about, I wouldn't say it's necessarily emerging technology per se. I mean, we've had Alexa, we've had Siri, but virtual assistants in a specific use for project managers. I think that would be one of the tools that will actually allow us to be more productive, if I put it that way. So often you do find that executives or project sponsors would want reports, would want feedback in terms of some of the progress on your projects. And having such tools, I think, would allow us then to rather focus on our work, getting the teams to be productive and execute, while any other queries that they are interested in terms of understanding how the project is doing and its matrices can easily be directed to like the virtual assistant. And I think also when it comes to taking over a project that, for example, say we had an experienced project manager that was running that project, and then you have to have a junior project taking over because of some unforeseen circumstance. If we have that assistant present, that information can easily be transferred through querying with that assistant. So I think on my side, that would be the technology. Yeah.
Perfect. Anyone else from our panel like to weigh in on this one?
I would like to add, Kiran. Yeah, I would say, as Perry was mentioning, that there was mentioned that 80% of project management would be taken over by AI. So it's very important we start looking into those project management assistant tools, that is utilizing GPTs for example, the PMI Infinity. I think that is something that people should actually look into and see how it can be applied, and use it for this routine task and improve the efficiency of project management through that. I personally use lots of GPT tools now in my work. I have seen that to come up with communications that needs an impact or that needs an influencing of the stakeholders, GPTs really help you a lot, and it saves lots of time. So I think these tools are quite indispensable to make yourself relevant in the organization. Otherwise, with AI coming into the picture, it's important that you work with AI and improve the efficiency of project management and help the projects be a success.
What I think is important in what Jabbar said is, if you use AI, you have in fact two routes, right? One is you get lazy because AI is doing your job, and that's not good because you're going to be less, because others will do better than you. Or you go the route of, I'm going to dominate AI, right? I'm going to leverage it, but I'm adding value to AI, not AI adding value to me. And that's the route we have to take, and it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. It's just a mindset.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. Let's move on to a question from our audience now. We'll tackle that one, and then we'll bring it back to some of the panel questions that we had from before. This is a great one because we have PMI chapter representatives, presidents, vice presidents, etc., folks that are playing leadership roles within our chapters. What are some of the most pressing or reoccurring challenges that PMI chapters are facing today? And let's maybe start off with Miguel, are you on microphone right now? Are you able to participate? I know you were having some technical issues.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can, thank you, yes.
Can you repeat? Sorry, I was trying to solve some technical issues with my camera.
No problems. The question again from our audience is, what are some of the most pressing or recurring challenges that PMI chapters are facing these days?
Well, I will say specifically we have so many offers in everything, in different groups, different companies, chambers that are offering that we can increase our professional knowledge and that we can collaborate to do better things and to have a better world. So pretty much I will say that in the overall right now, we have a lot of attraction in the past from agile way of working and doing the things. And right now there is a big focus on technology. So you better learn this way of work and you better do this. So right now I will say there is a lot of offerings in overall. And the question for most of my members is, what is the difference to participate in the PMI and to get benefit and deliver value working for the PMI? So I think that is one of the challenges is, well, we have an opportunity to learn and to participate with a lot of groups, communities, but at some point, well, not all of them are offering the real value. Not all of them are long-term, I will say, a strategy, are not having long-term strategy. So pretty much the challenges is to focus on the value that we can deliver as a project manager and that we can deliver being part of the PMI organization. And I think that is a very important item to focus.
Perfect, thank you, Miguel. Maybe I'll move it over to Jonna. Would you like to weigh in on that question around the challenges facing PMI chapters?
So I'm from PMI UA chapter. So we do have 3,700 members, but what we have seen is there's a huge number of people out there, who are certified, who are PMI members, but not part of the chapters. It's still a struggle to get access to those people. It's like huge numbers. In spite of the fact that we do lots of social media, we use social media for marketing purpose, we use websites for marketing purpose, but there is still a gap that is resulting in these members who are the PMI members or who are certified people not understanding the benefits of the chapter and joining the chapter. So that's I think it's a common challenge that all the chapters are facing. The other thing that I would say is, delivering that value to the members. There are so many things that we can do, but focusing on that social impact, focusing on engaging with the communities. And I would say at this point, we recently had a board meeting and we were talking about engaging with schools, bringing that, children into this, bringing the student communities, the academia, the universities into this. Again, they have exposure to lots of things, and exposing them to project management is of real value to them and for us as well, because we are bringing that skill to a lower age group, and ultimately that would help the organizations, help the country, and as Pierre said, no, it will help elevate the world if we are bringing them quite early into it. So I think these two are the challenges that I feel that the most of the chapters are facing.
Yeah, that's a really insightful thought around the earlier participation with chapters, because most of the time the events and the programs that chapters hold are definitely catering to people that are in the workforce already, that are either entering the project management world or have been practicing for many years. Targeting some offerings to kids in school or that might be entering a higher education, I think is a very unique kind of proposition. That's great. William, would you like to weigh in on that question?
Yes, I think we are all facing some of the membership issues, and because especially for like Taiwan chapter, we are so far away from the GHQ, and also the language barriers. So our members, they don't feel so close with the PMI headquarters, and they come to the chapter. However, we can only do certain things. For example, we do a lot of things in locally because we are also the local face of PMI.
Perfect. Pierre, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was of course a very interesting discussion, and I want to rebound a little bit on what William just said. That we need the chapters to be exactly that, the local face of PMI, and there are things you do and you can do that of course PMI global cannot do, because you are close to people, you are embedded in these organizations that have project managers. The people locally, you can have the great speakers locally, you can do things in your local languages. All of that is unique, and so we want our chapters to be successful. The good news is our membership is growing, right? We were a little flat before, but last year we grew about 5% globally, and this year we're starting on a very good base as well of growth. And this, frankly, everywhere on the world, like there's no region that is not growing. And we've also started to test this concept of single membership, as we've done in India, where every PMI member becomes also a chapter member. Now, this is giving, of course, the chapters a big responsibility in making sure that then these members will be engaged and will stay with us. In the end, my suggestion to you is we are the most universal project management organization, by far the largest. A meeting like this one will never exist anywhere else. And we have so many other things to offer, right? So what sometimes kills us is we lack consistency. And I do realize that it's difficult to be consistent across 300 chapters, but we have to try, right? And we have this PMI Next strategy. We have tried to clarify really where we want to play, why we want to focus on project success. As the busy work is going to go away, progressively with AI, we have to focus on the outcome, right? So what is project success? How does it contribute to a better world? Who are the people we serve? We talk about kids. Kids, we have a foundation for that. I'm not against it, of course. If you want to do this locally, of course, do it. But we really want to focus on people who are professionally focused on project management. From when they enter the workforce to when they leave the workforce. Yes, we have some relationship with universities, of course, to feed the system, but look at your own chapter. And some of your chapters are very good at dealing with young professionals and experienced professionals. Others are not so good at that, depending on the chapter. So we got a lot of room to do what PMI wants to accomplish much better in a much coherent way. And of course, adjust that to your local realities. If we can make single membership work, I'd be very happy with this. It means doubling, in India this year, we already have more than double the number of members we had last year, right? So India is a big country, and we will see how that works, but hopefully it's going to be for the best.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Pierre. I'd like to shift to another question from the audience. And Pierre, I'm going to actually ask you to kick this one off for us. The question is, and this one, we've talked a lot about tools. Let's shift back to power skills and to the softer side of project management. The question is how to establish the essence of servant leadership in organizations where traditionally there has been a transactional, transformational, or laissez-faire type of leadership. So how do we go about creating that culture of servant leadership in those organizations that maybe haven't promoted that as much in the past?
First of all, I think we have to recognize that project managers cannot do everything in their companies, right, and organizations. So if leadership is poor, look, what can you do? Either you become the leader yourself or you go work for another organization where leadership is better. Now, when you lead your own projects is where you can, of course, do something about this, right? So I would try, as always, to not focus on what I cannot control, and not focus on what I cannot control, but focus on what I can control, what is in my own remit. And I love that you said servant leadership is not, of course, about directing everything that people do and be completely hierarchical, but it's not about laissez-faire either, right? So we do see a lot of that in poor leadership, either too much involvement in everything, horrible situation for people who work in such organizations because they are absolutely not free to do anything. You know, it's like you have to follow processes even when they're absurd. There's no inspiration in any way. Or completely conversely, complete laissez-faire, where you have almost no way to engage with people who will actually potentially influence the success of your project because maybe their objectives will change. You know, you have no guidance, no leadership, no help in any way. So that's also terrible, right? And I think every one of us has to find the right balance between too much or not enough. Servant leadership is really about setting the goals, setting the direction, getting people to all rally around the end goal, then create a culture where people collaborate, work in teams. That's very important, of course, because it's not the addition of individuals. It is the team's effectiveness that really matters to the success of any enterprise, whether it is a project or a company. So that's what we all have to focus on. How do we learn doing that? Well, self-awareness matters, and then practice, you know, and at PMI, we have a lot of content that helps you understand how to apply servant leadership, gives you case studies. And when you are in chapters, that's a very good thing to do, you know, like have people coming to your chapters and talk about what does servant leadership actually mean, right? I think most people, when I talk about that to them, they are not so clear, in fact, about what servant leadership actually means in practice, right, beyond the theory. And I think in the chapters, you have a lot of professionals, many people who have a lot of experience, so you can definitely organize events around that, workshop, learn from each other. And I would be extremely happy if PMI and the PMI members and PMI chapters could play a leading role in promoting servant leadership.
Perfect. I really like, Pierre, that you sort of highlighted the importance of understanding that there are things that are outside our control as project managers, but at the same point, we do have that ability to coaching our sponsors, coaching our senior leaders, and it could be educating, helping them understand what servant leadership is and isn't, even though we may not directly be able to bring those changes to bear. Wonderful, wonderful response.
You know,
Luis,
Karen, if I can, sorry, I don't want to monopolize, but if one thing I want to add to this perspective is we're increasingly going in a world where people work in a more independent way. We're very distributed, remote work, whatever we whether we like it or not, is gaining ground. PMI is fully remote now, except in China. You have more and more distributed teams. Some with the gig economy, some of your employees won't be your employees. Look at PMI. The chapters are not subsidiaries of PMI. Still, we need to go in the same direction. That's fine, you know. So we will be in this situation increasingly where authority comes from your expertise, from your charisma, from your ability to communicate objectives, not so much coming from some legal authority that is given to you by the structure. We have to accept this, and it's good. It's for the better.
Perfect. Thank you, Pierre. Who would like to weigh in on this from our panel?
Yeah, I can add something.
Yeah, Jamna.
Miguel, yeah. Okay. I think in servant leadership, the managers, they serve as mentors, coaches, and it's very important that the teams are empowered so that we can delegate effectively, they can take decisions, and then the managers actually come in the position of resolving blocking points, rather than directing them to do certain things. It's, I mean, one area which I have seen that has helped the servant leadership work effectively is where the teams are really empowered. They are trained. They are given that opportunity to make decisions and sometimes make wrong decisions, but learn through it. Where the senior leadership acts as mentors and coaches to help them develop through that opportunity. Yeah, just wanted to add on that.
Excellent, thank you, Miguel.
Yes, Kyron and people on the video conference. Pretty much, I am coming from a disruptive reorganization in my company for the past 5 years, moving to an agile, from a traditional project management to an agile. And one of the things that is very relevant is we are becoming servant leaders, mostly to remove daily blockers to our team and to support our team. But at the same time, we need to get the things done. So that is not changing. So the project manager role is you need to do the things, you need to lead the team. So what is important is to balance between those two major priorities. Is pretty much we need to be very supportive, we need to influence and lead the team. But at the same time, we have our stakeholders, customer executives that are expecting us to complete deliver value, to do the things. So I think right now we are moving to a hybrid model, saying our role is still leadership, but we need to be very sensitive to the support to the team, to the soft leadership, to the power skills, and we need to make sure that at the end we are accomplishing our goals and we are delivering value to the organization.
It is very. Yeah, it is very important to not understand servant leadership as just removing the obstacles. Because if you remove the obstacles, but nobody knows what is the direction, then it's not going to work either, right? So you have to focus on the long-term vision, get people to really rally around that, enroll them, and then, yes, lift all the obstacles and let them find their own ways.
Absolutely. I think it reinforces that servant leadership is still leadership, and part of the role of leadership is to make sure that the vision has been communicated, bought into, and reinforced on an ongoing basis, so we're all moving in the same direction. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyone else like to weigh in on this from our panel?
Yes, I actually wanted to add something quick as well. In terms of the practical steps, right? How we can influence our organizations in a certain direction. First, I believe that it's us, right? Leading by example, but also with regards to our team members, the junior project managers that are following us, also mentoring and coaching them to become better leaders. And some of the things I think that I've also come across is normally when we do lessons learned, we tend to focus more on the technical aspects. But I think that if we also focus on the leadership aspects as to what actually did the project manager or leader do to ensure the project was successful, that information can then translate so that when someone takes on a project, they know what kind of traits they need to sort of exhibit to ensure that they're successful as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Kandalani. I appreciate that. Any other panelists want to weigh in on this? Okay, in that case, let's move on to our next question. Kandwani, I'm going to direct this one to you to get the discussion started. The question from the audience is, how can project managers use emerging technologies such as generative AI for managing projects? And how do we balance that with taking care of ethical issues as well? There's a little bit of static on the line. I'm not sure whose microphone is producing a bit of static there. So if you're not speaking, please do mute yourselves. Perfect, that's great. Kandwani, go ahead.
Sorry, can you please just repeat the question?
Yeah, certainly. It is how the project managers can use emerging technologies such as generative AI for managing their projects while at the same time addressing ethical challenges or risks.
Yeah, so this is an awesome question. Interesting enough, there's a course I saw today on PMI, which is Generative AI Overview for Project Managers, which is just amazing. But I believe that with the tools that are coming up in terms of generative AI, they'll essentially make our lives better as project managers. And I did highlight this earlier on with regards to how some of the repetitive tasks that we need to execute, we can rely on AI to do those quickly, and essentially putting us now in a position where we then need to use our leadership skills to ensure that we are engaged with the team, ensuring that we manage change, especially with regards to resistance towards implementing some of the AI tools. But as much as AI relies on data that we give to it, there will always be ethical issues associated with that, especially with some of the biases that could result from the person that's putting the code together or from the data that has been collected. So I think that as project managers, essentially, we need to equip ourselves with knowledge around ethics around AI, but also being able to spot some of these biases, right? And I think one of the things that I also saw in that course is the fact that at the end of the day, as a project manager, you are the one that's accountable for the result from using such tools. From in terms of the project success itself, you are the one that's accountable. The AI is there to consult and assist you where you'll need to get some of the activities done, but doesn't change the fact that we're still accountable. So as such, it's very important that we equip ourselves with good understanding of ethics, but also ensuring that we safeguard our organizations in terms of how this data is collected, how is it being used, because it can open up a can of worms as well, should the ethics actually get breached in that regard.
Perfect. And would one of our other panelists like to weigh in on specific actions then that project managers might take with their teams and with their stakeholders to both be able to take advantage of AI while at the same time protecting against some of the potential ethical challenges that we face? So focusing on specific kind of actions that we as project managers could take.
I can participate on that one, Kieran and team. So pretty much I see the capabilities of artificial intelligence. I usually say that is another project team member. I mean, we need to consider that is an important participant, but is something relevant that if we can evaluate some risk for the projects, if we can focus maybe in this small thing or activity that could have a big impact in the critical path for a project, or if we can influence having artificial intelligence as a tool or as a support. I mean, that will augment the professional capabilities and skills of the team. So that is good. We know that the risk is taking artificial intelligence and the response from systems is not always good, is not always very ethical. I mean, we don't need to take that as a good response or as a value. I mean, we understand that if we input a lot of information, at the end, the responses are not 100% accurate. So right now, I will say is I am working with some articles, and pretty much one of the fears in the ethical side is do not copy and paste or do not take a response as a 100% valid. It's still a lot of things to do with artificial intelligence. I mean, the responses are getting better, but they are not fully perfect. And this is something that we need to take in, that we need to have in mind. And the other thing is, well, is we can use the tool. The artificial intelligence is a good tool, but the reality is not replacing the key roles of the project manager.
Excellent. Thank you, Miguel. I mean, that really highlights the fact that, as Kodwani said, we remain accountable for the success of the project, for the actions of everyone involved in the project. And so we can't be lazy and sort of abdicate some of that to the AI tools in that regard. Who else from our panel would like to weigh in on this?
Let me add some comments. Yeah, I think we are using the new technologies and tools in a way that it will help us increase the productivity and our efficiency. But there's a productive project.
Sorry, William, you're cutting out a little bit. Your audio is cutting out. Okay, well, William's working through his technical issues. Luis, do you want to weigh in on this one? We haven't heard from you in a little bit.
Yeah, well,
it's about project management, but yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay, it's not stable.
So, sorry,
No,
Luis, go ahead. We'll come back to William.
Okay, so Luis, you go ahead. How about this?
Okay. Sorry, William. Well, well, it's complementary about your Miguel say. It's AI. No, its tools is not replace the human, but assist the human. No, as mentor, as assistant. No, in the product of the PMI Infinity. Infinity is assist the knowledge. No, and you and I, as project manager, put the what the consideration of this tool and complement my personal opinion, no, my personal decision. And with this information and my information of the team information, you make and elaborate your response, or you make the decision. No, it's not replacement later these tools, or the person or the people that says that AI replace our job is it's a mistake, because our job is not only technical, it's more human. No, it's more thinking. No, and well, it says with complementary that Miguel. No.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Luis, that you made. There was an article HBR published yesterday that talked about the dangers of automated management, and they said that automated management, even if it's done in a manner that is friendly to the employees or the staff, is less effective than when it's a human-oriented management strategy. So I think we're already seeing potentially that pushback against AI-led management in that regard.
Well, sorry, we are only a few. Well, some questions with maybe ethical questions, or I don't know, more personal, so more this human side is not forbidden with for the EA, or yes, I don't know. It depends. The knowledge based in the model, no, but you have a principles, you have a values, and you depends with the all information, and you make this decision. No, this is my appreciation.
Perfect. Thank you, Luis. William, have you been able to work through your technical issues?
Yes, I think Pierre wants to say something.
No, William, if your technical issues are gone, go ahead first, and then I will add one point that I felt like making.
Okay. I was just saying that we should use tools to help us to increase our productivity, but we shouldn't just purely rely on tools, because we should be really the driving force, not the tools or technologies. That's what I just come into.
Pierre?
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to do is to project what AI will be in the future, right? Not just based on what it can do today, but on what it may be able to do in the future. And I think AI can make decisions, right? It's already the case in many areas, right? So I don't see why they could not make some decisions if we let them make decisions. I think AI can be incredibly human in a way, right? So I don't know if you experience that or experiment that, but sometimes I have conversation with ChatGPT, asking, and the conversation, I actually purposely try to go away from like a pure transactional conversation, but I start sharing a little bit to see how ChatGPT reacts, and then you get to personal conversations like, do you think it's normal that I consider you as a friend? And you can have that kind of conversation with ChatGPT, and it's actually unbelievable how faking a human can really trump you, and it feels like I'm honest, develop a sort of connection with it in a way, right? Asking, well, what book do you think I should read then to, if this is the kind of thing that I'm thinking about? And it would be very useful and actually buy books based on recommendations from ChatGPT's conversation. But the one thing that I think is not going to go away ever is our accountability. Because in the end, AI will do, as long as we control it, right? So let's assume that, will do things that we let them do, right? So that accountability will not go away. You will never be able to say, it's not my fault, it's because of AI, right? So if you're a project manager, if you lead projects, if you lead teams, ultimately you are the person accountable. And we have to really think hard about what it means being accountable.
Absolutely, that's interesting. I mean, looking at the Gen AI tools beyond just as a virtual assistant to us, but also to push the boundaries of the word, developing a bit of a relationship with the tool to see, can it help us in other ways? What kind of insights can it provide? I think that's definitely, as the technologies improve, that's something that we can look forward to. But when I think back to those Star Trek episodes where we were querying computers using natural language, the one thing that never changed, it was always the human being making the final decision. It was always the human being being held accountable. The computer was there, could definitely converse, but they were not handed that authority. We could never abdicate that authority. Wonderful. That's great. We've got just a couple of minutes left, so there's a question that we may not be able to do full justice to, but I think it's worth at least having a quick conversation on it from the audience. With the growing emphasis on sustainability and on social responsibility, how can project managers integrate environmental, social, and governance considerations into their project management practices? And maybe we'll start this one. Pierre, I'm going to pick on you, unfortunately, for this one. Maybe you could kick off the discussion. We'll see how far we get in the time we have.
I do not think so. There are ethical considerations in the sense of false facts, right? I think that's where, because the ethical problems have been there for a while. The new ones that are introduced are either an amplification of problems that existed before, like if you think of respect of intellectual property. But what is really new is this ability to forge data, right? Forge data, including forging a video of me. This is going to be very easy to do. It's already easy to do, right? So you can use data, use AI to forge facts. It's going to be a big challenge for project professionals, I think, to fight that, find ways to eliminate the forged facts, the things that suppliers may use with you, that stakeholders may use with you, that your own teams potentially could use. So developing this ability to really understand how you can get away, you can go around all the potential falsification of facts is going to be a massive problem. So the data side of AI, I think, is where we will need to put a lot of efforts. It doesn't really directly answer your question about sustainability, but when I think about sustainability, I feel that what is new brought by AI is there, right, in this falsification of facts. So by the way, we are launching very soon. Sorry, I could not help it. It's not related. I'm just thinking about this right now. A new course on AI that is focused on data and data governance and how do you manage data. So it's going to be out soon, as soon as it's ready in a few weeks.
Perfect. Thank you, Pierre. To the rest of the panel, we got about a minute or so to go. Other thoughts around sustainability and social responsibility and integrating those in our actions as project managers.
I can add, Kiran. Yeah, I mean, what I've seen in my organization is now when we do procurement, the social impact is actually a criteria that is required for bidding, and there's a weightage that is given to it beyond, sometimes even beyond the commercials. So I think the sustainability factor and the social impact factor of projects are becoming important metrics that are considered. And to ensure that this is being implemented, obviously the organization, the employees need to be trained around it. They need to be trained on the sustainable practices to be followed when doing project executions. And also, when projects are being prioritized, of course, they need to be directed towards the strategical objectives. But even within strategical objectives, I've seen that social impact is becoming a very important factor. So obviously, you select projects and then that deliver towards those social impact. Yeah, that's very, very specific to my organization. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamna. And Priya, I think we're probably at time.
Yes, you are just on time. All right. So thank you, Kiran, for that wonderful moderation. And thank you, panelist Pierre, for your inputs. We did learn a lot today. But we'll move on to just the last section of the event. And I'll share my screen again. And over to you, Tao, for taking us through what we have achieved today.
Okay, so in the beginning of the event, we should introduce you to the exchange effect map. And now I present you here how diverse our participate in this event is. And yes, here you go. Taiwan is the third time to be a top, and source from the Menti pool and said as you look. Thanks. Yeah. And hold on a minute. So thank you for all participating. Excellent insights, and the engagement was amazing. And we received many comments and quotes. And the chosen one is Sanders News from Taiwan. The future of the project manager seems to be increasingly dynamic and technology-driven. Automation, AI, and data analytics will likely play a larger role in streaming process and decision making.
Okay, so now it's over to Anita to take us through the outro section of the event.
Okay, I'll start sharing my screen. I hope you can see.
Yes.
So 2 days ago, we celebrated Valentine's Day. And when thinking about the outro session for today, we were thinking about building a future we love. In today's discussion, we tried to understand and learn what steps we need to take today to get ready for tomorrow. And at the heart of being future fit, we definitely need continuous learning. We need to stay on top of the new ways of working. Also, Pierre mentioned we need to learn to speak the C-suite language about strategy, about business models. We need to also keep developing power skills like emotional intelligence, negotiation, and so on and so forth. We need to also keep a growth mindset. Also, one of the key themes that our panelists mentioned in the discussion was adaptability and flexibility. Also, building networks, so participating in events in events like today. Also, very interesting insight was not to be scared of AI and rather leverage it, not to get lazy, but think of how we can add value to AI. Also, there are many ways, especially within PMI, to learn AI and to encounter this journey with PMI by AI and starting using PMI tools like PMI Infinity platform. And I would like us to take away from this discussion that let's grow together, and PMI helps us to stay at the forefront for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Again, all project managers across the globe. I will share my screen again. And now it is time to think about chapter exchange next, just like PMI is thinking about next. And it is time to pass on the baton to the next. And we have Ahmad Ashfaq, who is the Vice President of PMI Mumbai chapter. With the end of my role as Vice President Outreach on December 31st, we thought that it would be a good time to introduce the next, where for us, N means newer horizons, E means extending the influence, and X, of course, change stands for exchanging more and to transform our future of work. So with this, Ahmed, I would like to invite you on the stage to say a few words and to take this initiative forward on behalf of PMI Mumbai chapter. Over to you, Ahmed. Ahmed, you're there? Are you speaking on mute?
Are you able to hear me? Are you able to see me?
We can hear you. I can't see,
okay.
But you can.
Okay. Thank you, Priya. Thank you. That was a very wonderful session. I could not keep my eyes off the screen for a second, and a lot of learnings for all of us. And I'm sure the 500 plus members who have joined were able to make the most out of the time that they've invested here. And with the kind of collaboration that we have from chapters across the globe, and this is the first one for the year, we're looking forward for more such events going forward. So it's going to be a very challenging task to keep up the pace in your absence, but we will always be around and do an excellent job. And thank you, team, for all the effort around.
Thank you. And thank you, Ahmed. And with this, here is your PDU code. Your PDU code will be shared. Will be shared in an email by Monday. And this is how we wrap up our season 5 event 1, the first event of the year. Heartfelt thanks to all the attendees who have attended this session. And we really do thank you for supporting us for the last 4 years. And we will be back again in March. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon. Bye-bye.